Why would I say go to you to get a will sorted rather than just do a will kit or something like that?
Well, look, I'm not going to lie, you can definitely do a will kit.
Yep.
You know, anyone can do a will for anyone.
Yep.
It seems though that doing your will yourself is a little bit doing the brakes on your car yourself. You know, you might have a bit of an idea about how to do it, but you know, for me, I'd get my mechanic to do it because I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Do you have any stories?
Yeah. So it's heaps. So they call it the curse of the homemade will in the courts. It's actually in published decisions. I love it personally because it just gives me heaps of work, especially in that litigation space and that kind of thing. But it causes real drama for families. It basically, as I was saying before about a will, it's the Wills Act. You've got certain requirements that you have to meet. So it's got to be signed properly. You've got to have the right witnesses. Right. It has to do certain things. And probably one of the biggest problems with a will kit is no one reads the instructions properly. I had a guy bought the will kit that you get from the post office, filled it all out properly, and the signature. So when you open these will kit books, they're actually joined in the centre, and they've got the perforated thing so you can tear it out. They're not all the same, they're all different. But on this one was a tear out one, and he'd actually signed the signatures which go on the foot of the thing that were joined at the top, and then because it didn't fit for some reason, someone's cut signatures off and it's opened it up, and so you've got a will with no signatures on, so that just caused like massive dramas. But there's lots of examples. I had a case where there was a homemade will and the guy took it down to his local bowling club or something or other, and it was witnessed by about 6 different people at different times, and so then I had to go and do all these affidavits to explain to the court that, you know, then he went and saw this person and witnessed it, and then he went and saw that person.
And half of them had Alzheimer's.
Well, yeah, actually one of them had passed away actually, so getting their evidence was impossible, but I mean we got there in the end, but just the expense that it put and the delay that it put to the family.
So just easier to get it done right.
Well, it's not just, and this is the biggest thing, is it's not necessarily how you do your will. So someone might go to the post office, follow the instructions, do everything that they want to do in their will, and they go, great, I've done it all right, it's valid, but they don't actually understand how their assets are owned. So they might have superannuation, which isn't an asset of their estate. They might have a joint tenancy or co-ownership in real property, and so that might actually form outside of the will. And so an even bigger one, and this is another kind of story, is that you might have the common person that comes in and says, oh, you know, I've got 3 houses or 2 houses, I want to leave house A to child A and house B to child B.
Gotcha.
But house A might be their principal place of residence and it doesn't have any tax consequences to it, and then house B might be subject to capital gains tax because it's an investment property, and then child B ends up getting less than child A. And you'd think in a normal circumstances your brother or your sister go, oh, don't worry, I'll just split it, but it just doesn't work.
No.
Never in my world. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So, and then the other reason, I shouldn't really say this because I hope it never happens to me, but if you do your own will, you're not actually insured. So if you go and see a lawyer, a professional person, they have mandatory legal professional indemnity insurance for negligent behaviour. And if they've negligently prepared your will and not advised you about joint tenancies and superannuation, all these things, and there's a problem, then you can claim on their insurer, and your family members might be covered. I mean, this is why people like me have to pay an exorbitant amount for insurance, which really sucks, but that's just the reality. And another reason is we have a lot of cases where people do their own wills and they write these magical clauses that, you know, they think they know what they're saying, and after they've passed away it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And so we actually have court cases where we argue about what does this document actually mean, that can cause real dramas. I had one once, it was a 13-page homemade will. It had instructions on how to sell bits of land and what price to sell it for, and things for Bill the dog and Scruffy the parrot, or maybe it was the other way around, but Scruffy the dog and Bill the parrot. But you know, trust for their animal, and it was just a nightmare for the family to sort out because
Yeah, right.